Chapter 5: The Valley of Echoes. The journey to the Valley of Echoes was arduous and fraught with danger. Aiden and his companions traversed treacherous terrains, from rugged mountains to dense, shadowy forests. They encountered fierce storms and mystical creatures, their resilience tested at every turn. Despite the challenges, the group's resolve remained unbroken, fortified by the knowledge and camaraderie they had built along the way. The Valley of Echoes, hidden deep within the heart of Elysia, was a place of profound beauty and power. Legends spoke of its magical properties, where every sound was amplified and whispers of the past resonated through the air. The valley was said to be guarded by ancient enchantments and powerful beings, making it nearly impossible for outsiders to enter. As the group approached the valley, they felt a palpable shift in the air, the magic thick and vibrant. Entering the valley, they were greeted by an awe-inspiring sight. Towering cliffs surrounded a lush, verdant expanse filled with rare and exotic flora. Crystal-clear streams wound their way through the valley, their gentle babbling creating a soothing symphony of sound. However, the beauty of the valley was deceptive. The air was filled with echoes, voices from the past and present intertwining in a haunting chorus. These echoes carried warnings and riddles, testing the group's resolve and understanding. The first challenge they faced was the Guardian of Echoes, an ethereal being of light and sound. The Guardian materialized before them, its form shifting and shimmering with each spoken word. It spoke in a voice that was both serene and commanding, asking the group to prove their worthiness. They were required to solve a series of intricate riddles, each one more perplexing than the last. The riddles drew upon their knowledge, intuition, and the lessons they had learned throughout their journey. Through teamwork and determination, they successfully answered the riddles, earning the Guardian's respect and permission to proceed. Deeper into the valley, they encountered a series of mystical trials designed to test their strength, courage, and unity. These trials included traversing a maze of illusions, facing their deepest fears manifested by the valley's magic, and demonstrating their unwavering commitment to their mission. Each trial pushed them to their limits, but they emerged stronger and more united than before. As they navigated the valley, they came across ancient inscriptions and murals depicting the history of the eternal crystal. These artworks revealed that the crystal had been created by the first sorcerers of Elysia, intended to be a source of balance and harmony. However, the crystal's immense power had also attracted those with darker intentions, leading to its concealment within the Valley of Echoes. The inscriptions also hinted at the crystal's final resting place, a hidden chamber accessible only through a ritual that required immense magical energy and a deep connection to Elysia's essence. Aiden, understanding the gravity of the situation, decided to perform the ritual. His powers had grown significantly since the beginning of their journey, and he felt a profound connection to Elysia and its magic. With guidance from Elara and the support of his companions, Aiden began the ritual. The air around them crackled with energy as Aiden channeled his magic, drawing upon the strength and unity of his friends. The ground trembled, and the echoes in the valley grew louder, resonating with the power of the ritual. As the ritual reached its climax, a hidden passageway revealed itself, leading to the chamber where the eternal crystal was kept. The chamber was a magnificent cavern, its walls adorned with shimmering crystals that bathed the room in a soft, iridescent glow. At the center of the cavern stood the eternal crystal, pulsating with pure, radiant energy. The sight of the crystal filled Aiden and his companions with a sense of awe and hope. However, their triumph was short-lived. As they approached the crystal, a dark, menacing presence filled the chamber. Morgana had arrived, her dark magic emanating a palpable sense of dread. She had been tracking their progress, biding her time until the moment was right to strike. With a malicious grin, she confronted Aiden and his companions, her eyes fixed on the eternal crystal. A fierce battle ensued, the cavern echoing with the clash of magical energies. Morgana's power was formidable, her dark magic threatening to overwhelm them. Aiden and his companions fought valiantly, their combined strength and unity pushing back against Morgana's assault. The chamber became a battleground, with flashes of light and dark energy illuminating the space. In the heat of the battle, Morgana revealed her true intentions. She sought not just power, but the complete domination of Elysia. She taunted Aiden, trying to sow doubt and fear. But Aiden, fortified by the support and love of his friends, stood resolute. Drawing upon the wisdom imparted by the Tree of Whispers, he realized that only through unity and sacrifice could they hope to prevail. In a final, desperate move, Aiden made a decision that would change the course of their destiny. Channeling the combined energy of his companions and the essence of Elysia, he unleashed a powerful spell that enveloped Morgana and the Eternal Crystal. The spell was designed to neutralize Morgana's dark magic while preserving the crystal's power for the good of Elysia. The cavern shook with the intensity of the spell, the echoes of their struggle resonating throughout the valley. As the dust settled, Morgana lay defeated, her dark power extinguished. The Eternal Crystal, now glowing with a pure and balanced energy, was safe. Aiden and his companions, though exhausted and battered, had triumphed. The valley, once filled with ominous echoes, now resonated with a harmonious chorus of victory and hope. With the Eternal Crystal secured, Aiden and his companions knew their journey was far from over. They had overcome immense challenges and forged unbreakable bonds, but the task of restoring balance to Elysia and ensuring a lasting peace remained. United by their shared purpose and strengthened by their experiences, they left the Valley of Echoes, ready to face whatever new challenges awaited them in their quest to protect and preserve the magic of Elysia. Chapter 6: The Ascension of Heroes. The defeat of Morgana and the securing of the Eternal Crystal brought a fleeting sense of relief to Aiden and his companions. However, they understood that their mission was far from over. The dark sorceress's influence had spread deep within Elysia, leaving scars that needed healing and threats that still lingered. The next step in their journey was to return the Eternal Crystal to its rightful place, restoring balance and harmony to their world. As they emerged from the Valley of Echoes, they were greeted by a world that seemed both familiar and foreign. The landscape bore the marks of Morgana's dark magic. Forests were twisted, rivers were polluted, and the skies were often cloaked in unnatural darkness. The group knew they had to act quickly to restore the natural order and undo the damage caused by Morgana's reign. Their first destination was the Great Council of Elysia, an assembly of the most powerful and wise beings from every realm. The council, located in the heart of Elysia, had been established to protect the realm and its inhabitants. However, Morgana's rise to power had sown discord among the members, and many had retreated to their respective domains, unwilling or unable to unite against the common threat. Aiden, carrying the Eternal Crystal, led his companions to the council's meeting place, a grand, ancient citadel surrounded by a vast, enchanted forest. The citadel's towering spires and majestic architecture stood as a testament to Elysia's rich history and magical prowess. As they approached, they were met with a mixture of awe and suspicion. The council members, having heard of Morgana's defeat, were eager to learn more but also wary of the implications. Inside the grand hall of the citadel, the council convened. Representatives from the various realms, including the elves, dwarves, nymphs, and sages, took their seats. The atmosphere was tense, the air thick with anticipation and uncertainty. Aiden, flanked by his loyal companions, stepped forward to address the assembly. Aiden recounted their journey, the trials they had faced, and the ultimate battle with Morgana. He presented the Eternal Crystal, its radiant glow illuminating the hall. He spoke of the need for unity and cooperation to heal the land and prevent such a dark force from rising again. The council listened intently, their expressions shifting from skepticism to understanding and resolve. The leader of the council, an ancient and wise sage named Eldrin, spoke next. He acknowledged the bravery and determination of Aiden and his companions and agreed that the time had come for the council to unite once more. Eldrin proposed a plan to use the Eternal Crystal's power to restore balance to Elysia, but this would require the combined efforts of all realms and their magical energies. The days that followed were filled with preparations and coordination. The council members, inspired by Aiden's call to action, rallied their people. The elves brought their mastery of nature, the dwarves their skill in crafting, the nymphs their control over water, and the sages their profound knowledge. Together, they formed a united front, ready to harness the power of the Eternal Crystal and heal their world. On the appointed day, a grand ceremony was held in the citadel's central plaza. A massive crystal pedestal had been constructed to house the eternal crystal, amplifying its power across Elysia. The entire population of the realm seemed to gather around, watching with bated breath as the council members took their positions, each channeling their unique magical energies into the crystal. Aiden, standing at the forefront, placed the eternal crystal on the pedestal. The crystal began to glow brighter, its light pulsating with increasing intensity. As the combined magical energies flowed into the crystal, it unleashed a wave of pure, restorative magic that spread throughout Elysia. The skies cleared, the forests regrew in lush vibrancy, and the rivers ran clear once more. The scars left by Morgana's dark magic were healed, and a sense of peace and harmony was restored. However, the ceremony was not without its challenges. The immense power required to restore balance strained the council members and Aiden alike. They had to maintain their focus and unity, resisting the temptation to use the crystal's power for personal gain. Aiden, feeling the weight of responsibility, drew strength from his companions and the lessons they had learned. Together, they upheld the integrity of the ritual, ensuring that the crystal's power was used for the greater good. As the light of the eternal crystal subsided, a profound silence fell over the assembly. The transformation of Elysia was complete, and the realm stood rejuvenated and vibrant. The crowd erupted in cheers and applause, celebrating their newfound hope and unity. Aiden and his companions were hailed as heroes, their names etched into the annals of Elysian history. In the aftermath of the ceremony, the council convened once more to discuss the future. Eldrin, recognizing the importance of maintaining unity and vigilance, proposed the formation of a new order, a group of guardians dedicated to protecting Elysia and its magical artifacts. This order, to be known as the Keepers of the Crystal, would include representatives from each realm and be led by Aiden and his companions. Aiden, Celine, Elara, and the rest of the group accepted their new roles with humility and determination. They understood that their journey had only just begun, and that the responsibility of safeguarding Elysia would require continued effort and sacrifice. With the eternal crystal secure and the council united, they were ready to face any future challenges. As they set out to fulfill their duties as keepers of the crystal, Aiden and his companions felt a deep sense of purpose and belonging. They had forged unbreakable bonds, discovered their true strengths, and learned the value of unity and sacrifice. Together, they would ensure that the light of Elysia would never again be overshadowed by darkness, standing as a beacon of hope and protection for generations to come. Chapter 7: The Rising Threat. As the new keepers of the crystal, Aiden and his companions took their roles with earnest dedication. The once divided realms of Elysia now worked together to maintain the balance restored by the eternal crystal. For a time, peace reigned, and the scars of Morgana's reign began to fade from memory. However, in the shadows, a new threat was quietly gathering strength. Rumors began to circulate about a dark power rising in the farthest reaches of Elysia. Whispers of unrest, disappearances, and strange magical disturbances reached the ears of the keepers. Aiden, ever vigilant, sensed that something sinister was afoot. He called a meeting of the keepers in the grand hall of the citadel to discuss the emerging threat. The hall, now a symbol of unity and hope, was filled with the murmurs of concern as the keepers assembled. Aiden stood at the head of the table, his expression grave. Celine, Elara, and the rest of their companions were seated around him, each one a vital part of their coalition. Aiden began the meeting by addressing the rumors. "We've received reports from multiple realms about a growing darkness," he said. "People are disappearing, and there's an unsettling increase in magical anomalies. We must investigate these incidents and determine if they are connected." Celine, ever the keen observer, added, "I've heard tales of a figure known as the Shadow Weaver. Some say he's a sorcerer who draws power from fear and chaos, seeking to exploit the instability left in the wake of Morgana's defeat." Elara, her wisdom shining through, nodded thoughtfully. "If this Shadow Weaver is behind these disturbances, we must act swiftly. The balance we fought so hard to restore is fragile, and any disruption could have dire consequences." The keepers agreed to split into smaller teams to investigate the reports from various realms. Aiden would lead a team to the northern mountains, where strange lights had been seen in the night sky. Celine would head to the coastal cities to investigate the disappearances of several influential figures. Elara would journey to the mystical forests in the west, where the magical disturbances were most pronounced. Aiden's team, consisting of himself, Lyra the elven archer, and Thorn the dwarven warrior, set out for the northern mountains. The journey was arduous, but the camaraderie among the group made the trials bearable. The northern mountains were a harsh and unforgiving landscape, with jagged peaks and treacherous paths. The air grew colder as they ascended, and a sense of unease settled over them. As they approached the source of the strange lights, they discovered a hidden cave, its entrance obscured by an illusion spell. Inside, the cave was illuminated by an eerie, unnatural glow. Aiden's senses were on high alert as they ventured deeper, the air thick with dark magic. They eventually reached a vast chamber, at the center of which stood a dark crystal pulsating with malevolent energy. The crystal was surrounded by hooded figures, chanting in an ancient, arcane language. Aiden recognized the spell they were casting. It was designed to siphon energy from the land, destabilizing the magical balance of Elysia. He signaled to Lyra and Thorn, and they launched a coordinated attack. The battle was fierce. Lyra's arrows struck with pinpoint accuracy, disrupting the concentration of the spellcasters, while Thorn's axe cleaved through their defenses. Aiden unleashed his magic, a brilliant display of light and energy that clashed with the dark forces emanating from the crystal. The hooded figures fought back with powerful spells, but the Keeper's teamwork and determination proved too strong. As the last of the spellcasters fell, Aiden approached the dark crystal. He could feel its corrupting influence, a twisted reflection of the eternal crystal's pure power. He knew they couldn't leave it intact. Channeling his magic, he focused on the crystal, intent on breaking its hold. The crystal resisted, its dark energy pushing back against him. Aiden called upon the strength of his companions, their unity providing the power he needed to shatter the crystal. With a final surge of energy, the crystal exploded into fragments, the dark magic dissipating into the air. Exhausted but victorious, Aiden, Lyra and Thorn made their way out of the cave. They had thwarted one of the Shadow Weaver's plans, but they knew their battle was far from over. The incident in the northern mountains was just one piece of a larger puzzle. Meanwhile, Celine's investigation in the coastal cities revealed a network of spies and informants working for the Shadow Weaver. She uncovered evidence of a coordinated effort to sow discord and fear among the populace. The disappearances of influential figures were part of a larger scheme to destabilize the political structure of Elysia. Celine's skill in stealth and espionage proved invaluable as she dismantled the network from within, gathering crucial intelligence on the Shadow Weaver's plans. In the mystical forests of the west, Elara discovered that the magical disturbances were being caused by dark totems planted throughout the woods. These totems were draining the natural magic of the forest, creating imbalance and chaos. With the help of the forest spirits, Elara tracked down and destroyed the totems, restoring the natural flow of magic. After their separate missions, the Keepers reconvened at the Citadel. Each team shared their findings, painting a clearer picture of the Shadow Weaver's intentions. It was evident that he was a cunning and powerful adversary, one who thrived on chaos and fear. Aiden and his companions knew they had to stop him before his plans came to fruition. With renewed determination, the Keepers devised a plan to confront the Shadow Weaver directly. They would use the intelligence gathered by Celine to locate his base of operations and launch a coordinated assault. The stakes were higher than ever, but the Keepers were ready. They had faced darkness before and emerged victorious, and they would do so again. As they prepared for the final confrontation, Aiden reflected on their journey. They had come a long way, from disparate individuals brought together by fate to a united force capable of protecting Elysia. They had faced betrayal, trials and battles, and through it all, they had remained steadfast. The rising threat of the Shadow Weaver was their greatest challenge yet, but Aiden knew that with unity, courage, and the strength of their bonds, they could overcome any obstacle. The Keepers of the Crystal, heroes of Elysia, set out on their final mission, ready to face the rising threat and protect their world from the darkness that sought to engulf it. The battle ahead would be fierce, but they were prepared to fight for the future of Elysia, no matter the cost. Chapter 8: The Shadow Weaver's Lair. The Keepers of the Crystal, fortified by their recent victories and newly gathered intelligence, set out to confront the Shadow Weaver. Selene's network of informants had pinpointed the location of his lair, a hidden fortress deep within the labyrinthine caves of the Forgotten Abyss, a place where even the bravest dared not tread. It was said that the Shadow Weaver drew his power from the Abyss's eternal darkness, a realm untouched by light and hope. As Aiden, Selene, Ilara, Lyra, Thorn, and their allies approached the Abyss, a sense of foreboding settled over them. The entrance to the lair was concealed by layers of enchantments and illusions, making it almost impossible to find. However, Aiden's growing powers, combined with Ilara's deep connection to Elysia's natural magic, allowed them to see through the illusions and locate the hidden passage. The descent into the abyss was treacherous. The air grew colder and the light dimmer with each step. The walls of the cave seemed to close in around them, and the shadows danced menacingly, as if alive. Despite the oppressive atmosphere, the keepers pressed on, their determination unwavering. They knew that the fate of Elysia depended on their success. As they ventured deeper, they encountered a series of traps and guardians designed to deter intruders. The first obstacle was a corridor filled with shifting shadows that threatened to consume anyone who entered. Aiden, using his light magic, managed to create a path of illumination, allowing the group to pass safely. Next, they faced a chasm with no visible means of crossing. Lara, with her keen eyesight, spotted a series of hidden platforms, and Thorn's strength helped the group leap from one to the next. The challenges grew more intense as they neared the heart of the abyss. They battled creatures of darkness, twisted by the Shadow Weaver's magic. These monstrosities, with their grotesque forms and immense strength, tested the keeper's resolve. Each member of the team played a crucial role. Aiden's magic provided defense and support. Selene's agility and stealth allowed her to strike critical blows. Ilara's wisdom and nature magic offered healing and protection. Lyra's arrows found their mark with deadly precision. And Thorn's brute strength shattered their enemies' defenses. Finally, they reached the inner sanctum of the Shadow Weaver's lair. The chamber was vast, with walls adorned with dark runes that pulsed with malevolent energy. At the center stood the Shadow Weaver himself, a figure cloaked in shadows, his eyes gleaming with a sinister light. He radiated an aura of darkness so intense that it seemed to absorb all light around him. The Shadow Weaver greeted them with a mocking smile. "Welcome, Keepers of the Crystal. I've been expecting you. Did you really think you could stop me?" Aiden stepped forward, his voice steady. "We won't let you plunge Elysia into darkness. Your reign of terror ends here." The Shadow Weaver laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the chamber. "Brave words, but ultimately futile. You have no idea of the power I wield." The battle that ensued was unlike any they had faced before. The Shadow Weaver commanded the shadows themselves, weaving them into deadly weapons and impenetrable shields. His dark magic was a relentless assault, pushing the keepers to their limits. But they fought back with everything they had, drawing on their unity and the bonds they had forged. Aiden, standing at the forefront, channeled the power of the eternal crystal. Its radiant light clashed with the Shadow Weaver's darkness, creating a spectacle of swirling energies. Aiden's magic, fueled by the hope and strength of his companions, created a protective barrier that shielded them from the worst of the Shadow Weaver's attacks. Selene, moving with unmatched speed and precision, found openings in the Shadow Weaver's defenses, her blades striking with deadly accuracy. Ilara called upon the spirits of the forest, their ancient magic bolstering the keeper's strength and resilience. Lyra's arrows, imbued with her unique magic, pierced through the shadows, disrupting the Shadow Weaver's control. Thorn, with his immense strength, delivered powerful blows that shattered the dark barriers. Despite their combined efforts, the Shadow Weaver seemed almost invincible. His power grew with each passing moment, drawing from the darkness of the abyss. Aiden realized that they needed to disrupt the source of his power. Remembering the Tree of Whispers' prophecy about unity and sacrifice, Aiden knew what had to be done. He called out to his companions, "We need to focus our energies together. Only through unity can we break his hold on the darkness." The keepers formed a circle, channeling their magical energies into Aiden. The eternal crystal, responding to their unified strength, began to glow brighter than ever before. Aiden directed this concentrated power towards the Shadow Weaver, aiming to sever his connection to the abyss. The Shadow Weaver, sensing the shift, tried to counter their efforts with a final, desperate surge of dark magic. The chamber trembled as the forces of light and dark clashed. Aiden, feeling the weight of the energy coursing through him, pushed forward with all his might. The light from the eternal crystal enveloped the Shadow Weaver, engulfing him in a blinding radiance. With a primal scream, the Shadow Weaver's form began to disintegrate, his dark essence dissolving in the face of their combined light. The oppressive shadows that had filled the chamber lifted, and the dark runes faded into nothingness. The Shadow Weaver was no more. Exhausted but victorious, the keepers stood in the now silent chamber. The darkness of the abyss had been vanquished, and the oppressive atmosphere gave way to a serene calm. Aiden, still holding the eternal crystal, felt its warmth and power resonate with their unity and determination. As they made their way out of the abyss, the keepers knew that their victory had not come without cost. They had faced incredible challenges and made significant sacrifices. Yet, their bonds had only grown stronger, and their resolve to protect Elysia had never been firmer. Emerging into the light of day, they were greeted by a world transformed. The news of their victory spread quickly, bringing hope and joy to the inhabitants of Elysia. The dark clouds that had loomed over the land began to dissipate, replaced by clear skies and the promise of a brighter future. Back at the citadel, a grand celebration was held in honor of the keepers. Eldrin and the other council members praised their bravery and dedication. The people of Elysia, united in gratitude, hailed them as true heroes. Aiden, looking out over the gathered crowd, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. They had faced unimaginable darkness and emerged victorious, not through individual strength, but through their unity and unwavering commitment to each other and their cause. The keepers of the crystal had proven that as long as they stood together, they could overcome any challenge. Their journey had forged them into not just protectors of Elysia, but symbols of hope and resilience. And though new threats might arise, they knew that with their unity and the power of the eternal crystal, they would always be ready to defend their world. As the celebration continued, Aiden and his companions took a moment to reflect on their journey. They had grown not only as individuals but as a family bound by shared purpose and experiences. They were the keepers of the crystal, the guardians of Elysia, and their story was far from over. The future lay before them, filled with endless possibilities and the promise of new adventures. Together, they would face whatever came next, their hearts united in the light they had fought so hard to protect.